The idea is caught on that Israel is committing genocide.
The idea has caught on. They're not actually doing a genocide.
Whilst we overlook the fact that it's a misuse of the word anyway, by no stretch of the imagination could you ever mount a credible case. Not even the ICC is arguing that, and they're very anti-Israel.
Hold on. Okay, he's saying you can't mount a credible case that Israel's committing genocide. Well, let's look into this. Let's dig a little deeper here. All right, guys, after a quick Google search, okay, very simple thing to do, found this article by Amnesty International. I think they care about human rights or something like that. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, they say that their investigation concludes that Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. So pretty big name there, saying that there is a genocide going on. I mean, it's really just obvious when you look at the record, but whatever. Another resource here says top genocide scholars unanimous that Israel's committing genocide in Gaza. This is according to a Dutch investigation. All right, and then according to the UN Special Rapporteur, how do you say that? Anyway, there are reasonable grounds to believe that Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. So, yeah, it seems like there are pretty big names out there that have a lot of credibility who are saying that, yeah, they are committing a genocide.
While we ignore the fact that Hamas and bodies like Hamas specifically have in their charters the object of obliterating the Jewish people in the Middle East. That is genocidal. It's a complete inversion.
Okay, so first of all, we need to look into that claim a little more deeply, which I'll do in a second. The big difference is that Hamas is not actually committing a genocide against Israelis, against Jewish people. Israel is committing a genocide. They don't have to write it down in a charter to do it. They're just doing it. Okay, but let's look a little bit further, okay? Okay, so they love to quote this Hamas charter that, advocated for the extermination of the Jews, which is bad. Don't agree with it. Hate that. That's horrible, okay? But they never bring up the fact that in 2017, Hamas removed the anti-Semitic language and clarified Hamas's struggle is with Zionists specifically, not Jews. Now, you can choose to believe that or not, but it's not there anymore, okay? And why would they do that? Why would they change that, right? If they really, wanted people to think that they want to kill all Jews, why would they specify, no, our problem is with Zionists specifically? But look, not a supporter of Hamas, don't like them, all right? But there's a little bit of nuance here. And let's not pretend that Israel and Israeli politicians haven't also espoused genocidal rhetoric, okay? Here's a quote from Yoav Gallant. We are fighting human animals, and we are acting accordingly. We will eliminate everything, and they will regret it. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu evoked a biblical analogy referring to the Israelites' enemy, largely interpreted as a genocidal call to wipe out Gaza, referring to Amalek in the Old Testament. It says here, Feiglin said Israel's end goal should not be to eliminate Hamas, but rather Gaza should be razed and Israel's rule should be restored to the place. This is our country. Seems a little ethnic cleansey to me, a little genocidal, but whatever. A Likud member in parliament said there should be two goals for this victory. One, there's no more Muslim land in the land of Israel. After we make it the land of Israel, Gaza should be left as a monument like Sodom. Some Israeli politicians have outright called for a repeat of the Nakba, or catastrophe in Arabic, when hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were expelled and hundreds of villages demolished in 1947 to 1948. Nakba expelled them all, Nissim Vaturi, deputy speaker for Israel's parliament, said. If Egyptians care so much for them, they are welcome to have them wrapped in cellophane tied with a green ribbon. Jesus Christ. Israeli diplomat, politician call for the complete destruction of Gaza. You know, where there's millions of people. But they never bring that up. Why don't they ever bring that up? It's always Hamas. It's Hamas, Hamas, Hamas. And look, Hamas is bad. Hamas bad. Israel worse. Israel worse.
And it's a really interesting thing that our culture, for all of our education, is capable of that sort of revolution, really. Putting on
But it's the same inversion. That's why it makes perfect sense. The inversion is exactly the same. The reason people hate Israel is not even anti-Semitism in a lot of cases. A lot of these people hate Israel because Israel is strong. And the surrounding countries, in particular the Palestinians, are weak. They're less popular.
I mean, I guess, yes, he is partly right in the sense that the conflict between Israel and Palestine is one of asymmetry, right? You have the most powerful U.S.-backed military in the Middle East completely subjugating, torturing, imprisoning, killing, genociding, ethnically cleansing the native population of the Arab Palestinians. Yeah, of course. That's why people don't like Israel. I mean, how is that difficult to understand? No, it has to be this like bullshit philosophical disagreement with the fact that Israel is powerful and the Palestinians are not, and that's it. That's the end of it. What?
They're less militarily sophisticated. They've got
Why is that? It just happened. It turned out that way completely, coincidentally.
less money, right? So they're the underdog.
They're not democracies.
They're the underdog. They're the underdog
Neither is Israel, but whatever.
in these people's heads. And you have to hate the strong, and you have to love and pity and try to promote and take the side of the weak. That's their mindset.
So they're victim makers. Is that the argument?
No, the argument is that it's the same
What?
inversion that they do about us. They hate the West for being successful.
Right.
But it's not just hating the West for being successful. You have to be completely ignorant of history to think that. Seriously, guys, like, you're just going to completely ignore the history of imperialism perpetrated by Israel, by the United States, by Western Europe. Like, for real? Like, we're just going to ignore all of that. I'm upset that countries are wealthy. Never mind how they got wealthy.
Right? And they hate Israel for being successful. They choose to side with the Palestinians, many of them, not because they know anything about the conflict, remotely. Not.
Apparently you don't, bro.
And I don't claim to be the world's greatest expert on the conflict either.
This is why you have that perspective, because you know jack shit, apparently.
Should just say. I'm just saying the reason these people who know even less than I do about that conflict are so.
And how do you know that's their motivation? You're just making things up. You're just making it up, dude. People can't be genuinely concerned for human rights. Like, seriously? I'm upset that people are being killed indiscriminately. That children are being killed. That women are being raped by the IDF. I'm upset by that. No, I'm just really concerned that Israel has more money. That's it.
So persuaded that one side is right and the other side is wrong is they have a simple way of measuring. This is the whole neo-Marxist worldview. The oppressed are right and the oppressors are wrong. So if you point your finger at someone...
This has nothing to do with Marxism. Are you fucking serious? People take this guy seriously? Jesus Christ.
Say, that's an oppressor, that person becomes wrong, right?
And we all know that the relationship between oppressor and oppressed is a uniquely Marxist perspective. Oh, man. This guy's a genius.
Or if you see that they are strong, they must be an oppressor, therefore they must be wrong. Well, that doesn't make any sense. But so the reason many people have this attitude to Israel and Palestine is exactly the same reason they hate the West. They hate Israel for exactly the same reason.
Yeah, I mean, you're not totally wrong there. They hate Israel for, being being an apartheid state, being imperialist, repressing its, the native population, the Arab Palestinians, genociding them, committing heinous war crimes, human rights abuses, etc. Yeah, we both did that. Yeah, the West and Israel. Good job. Oh my God, guys. Well, there you go. A couple of dorks, couple of morons, having no idea what they're talking about, have basically no ability to empathize with innocent people being, bombed to hell, and children being killed and maimed, and people getting shot at by the IDF for doing nothing. But anyway, that's it for me. I'm gonna go take a nap. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye bye.